Satellite online.
Transmitting from the third mole from the sun. You have tuned into Radio Cosmos.
Hey, this is Mike Thompson. We're back with Radio Cosmos Live, and I am pleased and thrilled to have Miss Emily Springsteen here with us tonight.
Glad to be here.
Boom. And she is going to play some great music for us. We're going to talk about where it all comes from, what she's about. And Emily, thank you for coming out and joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. So.
Now, I've listened to a lot of your music, and it's good stuff. It seems very passionate about. Now, some of it's a little more fun than others,
right?
But kind of talk about your background. I know you travel around a lot, and there's definite. I'm not gonna say. So what are your influences? But, you know, there's different sounds in there that you definitely hear. Tell us a little about your music and kind of where you're coming from.
Okay, so I grew up in Michigan. So the 10-cent bottle law is the song that's a single that's on Spotify and YouTube and all those streaming mechanisms. The 10-cent bottle law is about the 10-cent bottle law in Michigan where we had beer cans and pop cans and whatever. They're money. They're like currency. So I've spent several years now living in Florida, and I've played all these gigs at restaurants and stuff, and I watch my lovely friends who I love, and they're working, throw all these beer cans, pop cans in the landfill trash, and I'm like, that's like $35 or something, you know, like, So anyway, I grew up in Michigan, and I went to Michigan State and graduated there with a liberal arts degree, and then I moved to Key West and became a liberal artist. And no, I just kind of I really enjoyed working outside, and I worked a lot of horticultural jobs and stuff in Michigan. And so after college, I kind of followed the sun, the seasons south. I got a job on a tall ship in Fort Myers Beach.
Nice. How was that?
That was fun. Really cool. It's a really cool way to make no money hardly at all, but to get around and see stuff and have like a unit of people that watch out for you and take care, like your family away from home. So I did 2 winter seasons in Fort Myers Beach on the Appledore 5, smaller schooner. And we did some environmental education programs we did regular sales and charters and whatnot, but we did some environmental education sales, for school groups, which I also followed the program up. They're based out of Bay City, Michigan. So I worked on the sister ship Appledore 4, and we did a lot of school groups out of Bay City, Michigan. And so that's an interest of mine, absolutely. Environmental, taking care of Mother Earth. You know, it's here, it's amazing. Like the more I learn, if you watch the Planet Earth TV shows or stuff like that, the more you learn about the idiosyncrasies of life and the relationships, it's not like, oh, that's a pretty picture of the ocean. It's like there are so many things working together, doing these amazing things. And I've worked 3 years in Michigan at a native plant nursery growing Michigan native plants, where I used to see like plants are just green. And now I see like these survival mechanisms that all these plants have. So anyway, I'm kind of that's always been a passion in particular of mine. And then now I'm kind of merging more into, environmental protection, but I've like really exploded with my faith when I moved to Key West. I lived there for 7 years after I lived in Fort Myers. I've kind of floated down there, jumped off the boat, and was like, wow, this is amazing. The tropical plants and everything really were amazing to me. So then I had like a 6 weeks landscaping job down there, and then I had a caseworker job. I had a real job for 9 months, and
How'd that go?
well, it was a good experience, but I came off a sailboat and into an office, and it was torture.
Yeah, and last time I checked, landscaping is really work. So
It is, yes.
I'm thinking that might be a real job too. But,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I should say a real.
but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Anyway, so I did that, but I got me on my feet in Key West, which I really wanted to do. Key West is an amazing place to live because it's like traveling all over the world, but you stay right there.
Yeah.
But you know, it's also exhausting and all these things too. So, and then after I lived there for like a year or something, my friend pulled me off the dock where I was playing. I was living on a boat too there, and just played music with my friends on the dock. And back home in Michigan, I grew up with my family playing music at campfires and stuff like that. So I didn't perform. I was like in theater in school, and I did jazz band in school, and you know, I performed most of my life in some avenue or another. But my solo career kind of birthed out of Key West. And there's lots of places down there to do that. So I have a lot of people to thank down there, but it was a really cool experience. And then I felt a higher calling telling me it was time to move on. My boyfriend grew up here, and he's got 2 boys. So we moved up here a year and a half ago out of Key West. And yeah,
and then, you know, that's not a bad, I mean, you know, you're in Michigan. Okay, that's Michigan. Not knocking it, just it's Michigan. And then you know, and you go down to the Key West, which is another planet.
Yes.
You know, Panama City's not a bad in between.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a little more. It's a little more down to earth, but you still, you know, you're not tropical.
Right.
But, you know, we got mosquitoes here too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. You know, the Gulf and everything.
Yep.
Now you said something there, and I put it together in my head. So did you find that the more you became aware of your environment and how all the little things really work, the more you became a little more self-aware of, you know, maybe how you fit into that system and you know, that relationship and how that kind of worked into your music?
I don't think I've thought about it in those terms. I've definitely become.
I hope you're going to say yes. Otherwise, I came up with this glorious
What
premise.
a great question.
That means nothing.
Wow.
So, even if the answer is no, say yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
You know, no.
Yeah.
But seriously, you know, because before that, I guess is really the way to say it. I mean, you're working in this, you know, in a natural, a native plant nursery in Michigan, and then you're working down there. So this connection with earth and plants and things and understanding how they work together is kind of growing. And I can understand, I'm only one generation off the farm. So we used to go every summer and stay at my grandfather's farm. And this is not a big corporate farm. This was, you know, a little house he built with his own hands when they were young. You know, we'd go out in the field and work and just help. But even that, really that connection of getting out there and growing things and getting dirty and you know, understanding when the owl comes in, the owl's nice until he gets into the chickens, and then the owl's got to go, you know, and or the fox and whatever. And it's kind of a harsh reality, but it's also the how things work together, you know.
Yeah.
And so that it really changed. I know it's a big part of my upbringing and the way I look at the world.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're not separate. It makes me think of, I had lived in this really cool house in Key West that was segmented into apartments under this enormous banyan tree. Or I don't know if it was technically a banyan tree, but I called it a banyan tree. It was like the trunk of it.
For the purposes of our TV show,
yes, it was beautiful.
It's a glorious banyan tree.
It was like at least this big around, and right off my deck. And so it was towered over the house. And I was talking to my neighbor, and she said, "We're not separate. It's like we're this part of this ecosystem because it's tropics. Everything's damp, and it's like it's not like the rest of the world down there. Because it's third world kind of down there because you can't have nice things. It's like it'll get rusty or moldy or whatever. Yeah. So, but anyway, so the tree like consumed the house, and there were all these little anole lizards everywhere. And then at nighttime, there was this gecko, you know, and And so, touching on like the idiosyncrasies or the ecosystem. That's the word I want for. I felt like I was part of the ecosystem of the tree. I lived under that tree for 5 years.
Well, you were.
Yeah.
So, but so we moved forward to your original music, and we talked about how you kind of got to where you started being a solo artist, started writing songs, and it sounds kind of like you took that passion you have for environmental awareness. I'm trying to get a better word than that, but that passion for environmental consciousness maybe is a better way to say it. And that seems to be applied to your music. And was that a conscious effort where you said I want to make a point with this song, or is it more just, hey, that's where I am, that's who I am?
It's probably both. It's probably both. 'Cause when I was younger in college, I thought about songwriting, and I'm still overwhelmed by it, to be honest with you, kind of. But I'm understanding more about it. Like, you have to be disciplined. Like, if you can't just magically finish a song, you have to actually sit down and finish the song. That's something that kind of clicked with me kind of recently, like, because I don't have that many songs, I don't have a full album put together, but I've got a lot of pieces, and when I'm being more diligent, because I know for a fact, and I don't push my faith on people, but I know for a fact I'm supposed to be songwriting, and God's telling me things are happening and lining up like this. I'm supposed to be doing it. So when I was younger, I thought, I don't want to bother with songwriting. If I can't write something like Ani DeFranco or some of the stuff Joni Mitchell's saying, Ani she's got kind of like a heavy-handed attitude in some ways, but I wasn't trying to be like that per se, but she's such a poet. Or Bob Dylan, like these songs just flow out of people, and when I think about it in those terms, it's overwhelming. But I also feel like, okay, I got put in this. I dealt with depression when I was in college. My dad died when I was 13. So that was my battle. But then coming out of the other end of it, like doing everything I did in life that fought that depression, I came out of it and went sailing and became an artist. And I'm like, this is amazing. Like, when I was in the depths of despair back then, I couldn't imagine that my life would be this way. So I feel a sense of good, not guilt, but good responsibility, because I've been put in this position, and so I'm going to do something good with it.
Excellent.
I don't remember what exactly my...
How did you get out of that? A lot of people never get out of it.
Well, depression. A lot of self-help, a lot of counseling, and then I fought taking medication for a long time. I was really, really stubborn about it, because I'm like, I'm not going to stick something in my body. I'm a stubborn person. But then eventually it was like, this is bad enough that I think maybe I should take this road for now, because this instead of being self-destructive, like, why don't I just take the medication that's designed to help me and not have side effects like, puking in the toilet bowl the next morning or something like that. You know what I mean? So, it helped me a lot. Yep. And then at the same time, meditating and finding God. I was meditating, and I remember, I'd been on antidepressants for roughly a month, maybe, and I had this like vision that I'm not the end of my problems. I felt like I stepped back from myself and observed myself. Like, I thought all my problems were, I was in this shell like a nut. But then I realized that there was more. And so that kind of comes out in my music too. There's a song that I don't think you've heard, probably. It's called "You're So Groovy, God." Did you hear that one yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. That one that's like...
Was that in Hair? Should have been.
Should have been, yeah.
I tried to pull from that kind of thing. So anyway, like, in that moment of meditation and all these things that led me up to that moment, I realized I'm part of something infinitely bigger than I can imagine. So it's like a spiritual epiphany. And since then, it built on that, and I've had people come into my life. My boyfriend, my good friend Jenny from Key West, both of these people really helped me develop my spiritual awareness. And I used to be more what I would describe as like a passive spiritual person. Like I'd lay in bed at night and think a prayer. Well, now I realize like I've seen and experienced too much to deny it. This is my experience. And when you speak it out loud, amazing things happen. You know, like it's a personal thing. It can't be forced. It can't be taught. It has to be. It's a personal. Yes. I just believe God is in everything. I listened to this Deepak Chopra lecture once, and he was talking about quantum physics. And scientists don't even understand it. We're like, the quantum physicists don't even understand quantum physics. So I'm not even going to try. But we're flashing in and out of existence. Like, we think, like, here's the couch, here's the pillow, here's, I sing, and there's 5 senses or whatever. There's a heck of a lot more going on than we realize. And this Deepak Chopra lecture was, something clicked with me that, like, we have, like, so the lyric in the You're So Groovy God song is no, it's not that one, it's the other one. It's exude through my entity. The fabric of the cosmos is all-knowing. Why do you think that we all keep growing? Okay, so my paradigm, I believe that, like, these miracles happen. If you believe it, if you really believe it, it will happen. I've seen it and I've experienced it. I prayed one time. I had this eye floaty, and it was in my direct line of vision for like 6 months or something. And I was reading the Bible, and I was like, oh, this is bugging me. God, will you move it out of get it gone, or at least move it out of my direct line of vision? And it instantly, it moved. So anyway, I don't know if you
can't make that kind of stuff up.
Yeah, and I did. It happened, but I truly believed that it would. And if there was a shred of like, oh, I don't know, then,
So, I think that's amazing. And it's wonderful that you've kind of worked it into your artistic approach to, developing these songs.
Yeah, because I guess I figured with songwriting, if I don't want to be too, blunt about things, but if I don't have, like, something to say, why am I going to bother? I'm an overthinker. I admit it. I try not to be. And I'm better than I used to be. Key West was so good for me in that regard. It's too hot to worry about anything. It's too hot to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So, I joke and call myself a recovering perfectionist because I got straight A's in school and, well,
we got to fix that.
Key West fixed that for me. So
sure.
Anyway, all this spiritual stuff, like, it's like I said, it's a personal thing for people. And in my younger self, I would not have been receptive to somebody telling me the stuff that's coming out of my mouth right now. And the things like, oh, I heard the voice of God. Yeah. Well, somebody might say, well, you're crazy. Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. I believe in miracles because whether they're little or big, you hear about miracle healings. Like if somebody heals themselves through faith or through just power of positive thinking because your vibrations are in harmony and in peace and they're not fighting fear or, negativity.
Yeah, I think it's just basically you're allowing yourself to succeed. And even if you forget the faith part, which of course you can't, because that's the core of who we are, is what we believe. But I just think, when you think positive thoughts and you approach the world that way, positive things happen. You still get negative, but you're allowing yourself to accept that that there are good things out there, and it just kind of snowballs.
Right. And coming back to that Deepak Chopra talk, that I can't remember if he said this or if it was just something I gleaned from the lecture, but basically it's like whether you want to call the universe a blanket or a computer or whatever, like there's intention or not intention, there's potential for a miracle in everywhere. Like really simple. God is really simple. God is love and light and truth and peace and rainbows and
Puppy dogs.
hippies.
And
I mean, so there's
Let's talk about your
there's
hippiness.
another.
Hold on.
Okay, let's talk about my hippiness because
So you okay? We talked about spirituality, which is very important to your music and where you're coming from. We talked about your background, moving around, and being an intellectual at college, as intellectual as you can be at college, thinking you're an intellectual, and then going down to Key West and seeing the world a different way, and then ended up in Panama City, which is wonderful. But I guess you have a song you're working on now, or you just recorded, that you're going to end up working with the students at Gulf Coast State College.
yes, I'm really excited about
to
this.
work on the promotional
Yes,
video on
a
that.
music video.
Tell us about that.
Okay,
Tell
so
us
this
about
song-
the interaction with that department and all that stuff.
Yeah. All right, so I'll just get out of the way. This song's kind of heavy. It's the heaviest one of the ones that I'm going to sing tonight. It's called Stop Seismic Blasting. It came to me about a year ago when COVID, everything was locked down, and you know what happened? I felt like a total useless loser. And I was like, I have to do something. So I went to the dictionary and I found a word, aghast. And I was like, that rhymes with seismic blast. And so I wrote, Stop Seismic Blasting. And it's about seismic blasting in the ocean, which is a process for hunting for oil deposits, mapping the seafloor. And they use underwater airgun blasts as sonar, and it bounces off the floor of the ocean, and they can find the deposits of oil.
This is done at the surface, or they put something down on the bottom?
The
or does it
pictures
really
that I've
matter?
seen,
I don't
and
know.
my understanding
Yeah.
is that there are boats that drag things behind the boat, so it's close
Okay.
to the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what inspired it also was I had seen a picture of this dolphin that was disturbing. It was dead, and it had its ears were bleeding, and it had its eardrums were blown out by the seismic air guns. And so anyway, the song is intended to kind of provide awareness about the issue and to persuade people to stop it. There's spiritual mention in the song. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear this is going on. I don't play this one at my live shows because it also touches on politics.
That's
and,
never good at a live show.
No, you know. Yeah. So
unless it's that kind of show.
the politics and bleeding dolphins, like, oh my god,
Bleeding
like who
Dolphins
is this
usually
girl?
touchy.
Yeah. So, but tying back to what we were just talking about, I was trying to appeal to.
This is heavy, Calvin. Come on, man. You over here cracking up.
but she realizes
Yeah.
the nature of what
Well,
she's
yeah,
you
of course, yeah.
you can be an activist, but if you get
Yeah.
active at the club, you
Well,
don't
yeah.
get a check.
Yeah,
so
right.
you have to
If you're
entertain
going to be an
first.
activist, at least have a sense of humor, right?
or at least have
Yeah,
a
and you
daytime
take it
job.
to the college kids, the whippersnappers with
Right.
ideas and a lot more digital skills than I have, and I'm really excited to see what they come up with, to work with them on this. But anyway, my point was that I was trying to appeal to both left and right people, and maybe I inadvertently have, closed all the ears off, but there's Christian scripture reference in the song, and then there's like, maybe appealing to maybe more leftist environmentalists or whatever. So I was trying to reach as many
Right.
people in the audience as I could. With,
Well, so many activists are not inclusionist; they're exclusionist.
yeah.
And it sounds like you're trying to at least include
Yeah, I'm
everybody.
not trying
Yeah,
to
I
throw the
think that's a
guy
good
under the
approach.
bus that's doing his job. It's like there needs to be a different approach. I mean, in my opinion, we need to get off oil anyway, but that's what it's a big problem, right? So in
Well,
the
until you
meantime,
find something
like
that's got that much energy density in a gallon of something you can carry around,
yeah.
we're kind of stuck with it. Yeah.
There's
Kinda
so
the best
much
thing
that
going on.
happens. I'm sure that it's not destructive volumes at 2,500 miles away, but it's been recorded. These seismic blasts have been recorded 2,500 miles away.
Yeah.
2,500 miles away.
Yeah.
That's a long ways away. For these animals that require sonar to be able to find their food and their mates and do their lifestyle, whatever, dolphins and whatever. So
Whatever they do.
yeah, whatever they do down there. And so if you're blasting out their eardrums, you're killing them. What if they don't die from the shock wave?
Yeah, they're
Gonna die from starvation.
blind. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's heavy, but
Man.
yeah. So this is our.
We're doing great.
Yeah.
Are you ready to play some music?
I could play some music.
You want to play some music?
Yeah. Let me look at my little.
Yeah, look at our notes.
Yes. So
I'll look at my notes.
I went to
you know what we haven't talked about, other than your. Oh, we already did talk about your fingers, didn't we? You've been playing, and I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Downtown Panama City has been having quite the rejuvenation, in spite of the COVID coming along and the COVID restrictions. And one of the main drivers down there is, and this is totally unsolicited, but the History Class brewery down there. Mm-hmm. And I know they've done they work a lot with the Bay County Historical Society, producing films and things like that, and different historical things. And you play down there a lot.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about, and I don't mean to badmouth anybody in Key West or anything, but just you're leaving Key West in that environment. You're coming to Panama City, and you get a job playing downtown. Mm-hmm. What was the first thing you noticed? What's the environment different, and just kind of how did that change your music?
How did the environment change? Well, okay, so history
just,
class.
When you left Key West, it was one way, I'm sure.
I played all kinds of places down in Key West. I played, some grimy places, and then I was like, I don't really want to play those places. And then I worked my way up, and after 6 years of playing full time down in the lower Keys, I played between Key West and Marathon. So I played at a lot of resorts and really nice places.
Probably nice, yeah.
So, anyway, and then COVID, it happened 6 months after I moved here, so it was like, wow. So when I did start playing again, I just loved it even more. I was like, it's so nice to be playing again. And then history class brought me in there, and I was like, History Class Brewing Company it's like an academic theme. I was like, this is so great, because Key West is the opposite of academia.
So it was, people go there to have a good time, and that's why you go that far. And they're really nice
people. I love working with them. Mm-hmm. They've been really great to me. Yeah, so I enjoy it, and it's good. I play out front, and they cut me loose to just get in my groove, and when I'm playing out front, there's I don't know how many tables they have up there, but enough to make it definitely worth playing out there. But it's intimate, you talk to people, and I just love that. That's what I missed through COVID. I just love meeting people. Mm-hmm. Usually it's probably at the end of my shows, because at the beginning sometimes it's like, oh, nobody's listening, but I'm used to that. But at the end of the shows, people come up and they'll tell me about an artist, or they'll tell me about a song, or they'll connect somehow, or I just really enjoy meeting people.
Great. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, let's go play some music. Let's go over next door, and we'll be over there if you need us. That's right.
Okay.
Kaboom.
Oh, hey, Cosmos. Sorry I didn't see you there. This is Martin from the Recovery Room on Radio Cosmos, every Friday night on WKGC 90.7 FM, and you are watching me, watching Radio Cosmos Live.
All right, we're in the tracking room here with the lovely and talented Miss Emily Springsteen, and she has got something prepared for us tonight, a little special something for us. Lay it on us.
That's right. Okay, so I've got, I think 5 originals or something I'm going to play for you. And ahead of that, I'm not a spoken word person. That's not what I do. But I wrote this poem, and since we're talking about songwriting, it's called Hurry Up and Write, Why Don't You? So I'm making fun of myself, so here it is. I could do nothing worse than waste my time not writing verse. I set these dates to craft new prose. I'm coffee-fueled, now here it goes. If Garrison were here, he'd say, to write a book just lays away and stare off into outer space, for thoughtful statements hold most grace. But me, I tend to overthink, then words get clogged and start to stink. Well, some like milk and some like cheese, and some take grapes, but wine, you see, requires timely fermentation, similar to meditation. Some aged investments do procure, ripe delectables mature. From IPAs to sauerkraut and fancy pickles, the word is out that 20 years of English tests just might yield an aged zest. So if I let the levee break and grant myself a few mistakes, perhaps the prose I pent up tightly won't stream foul or unsightly. Oh, pen, uncork me. I'll instead stop kicking rocks inside my head. Now I surmise I'll rile the gumption to purge my words for your consumption. That's my method.
Lord, that sounds like everything I struggle with every day.
Sit on it forever and then
Yeah. Wait till the last minute and you get that phone call, where's my track? Calvin going, Tom, what? Mick, where's my track?
My mom said she was going to get me a t-shirt that said, don't rush me, I'm waiting till the last minute. That is me all the way. So
What you got for us?
Here's the first song. This song is called You're So Groovy, God, and I just felt like maybe underrepresented being like a left-leaning person politically, and I was like, it seems like there's this rift in politics going on right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, so generalizing, you could say that, you know, religious people are on the right and the left isn't. But I was just like, but wait a second, I feel like I want to bring people together. Mm-hmm. And so this was what I was feeling. This is like a hippie spiritual song. So
Part of being a hippie. Lay it on us.
all right. Then you fixed my eye, you fixed my pen. I had lifelong prayers from my grandpa Jim. He showed me the recipe for pork and peaches, flooded her house so we could live at the beach. The birds of the air don't sow or reap, but they find their food and a place to sleep. Where the younger me never thought I'd say this, but the scientist inside me's making sense of Jesus. In tactile form, he's your miracle teacher. Quantum physics meets human nature. Try to live the teachings independently. Praise the Lord in grand assembly. Your obvious responses when I pray out loud show this relationship is personal. I don't follow the crowd, feel aligned with you as an earthy hippie. When you opened my mind, it was holy trippy. I was only born when I gave you credit. Still those past dark decades, guess I would not edit. They gave me perspective and they made me strong. All who relate can now sing along. You're so groovy, God, and I'm blissing out, because peace and love is really what you're all about. You're so groovy, God. You got a clever wit, and what to keep inside. Oh, I know you're hip to it. I'm a flower child, I'm a beatnik freak. Organic granola is a favorite treat. I lean to the left, but I listen to the right. Thing you put me here to sort of mediate the fight. When I move to the music, feel the spirit rush. Wish I had a veggie van like Willie Nelson's bust. My festival blanket's got that tie-dye swirl. I used to deny you, Lord, but I'm your girl. You're so groovy, God, and I'm blissing out, because peace and love is really what you're all about. You're so groovy, God. Sometimes I meditate, if I can stop my mind. Breathing, you are great, though so I read kinda slow. I'm an educated hippie, feed my imagination on Huck and Pippi. But the Babylon songs got me digging deeper, keep moving along. Like Virginia Creeper was a soul, a reggae that baited me in. I started reading your word, wanna know what they were saying. Absorbing your scripture, got a lot to go, but I feast on your language, so I'm taking it slow. Knowledge of God spans across the nations, coexist with the infinite interpretations. There's common ground in the ancient text. When I get into the stories, wanna know what's next. You're so groovy, God, and I'm blissing out, because peace and love is really what you're all about. You're so groovy, God, you got a clever wit, but you bit side, oh yeah, to it. You're so groovy, God. Fa la 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 la, 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 fa la 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 la.
I just love watching you play.
I wanted to dance, but I was trying to hold still.
Yeah, and I don't think it's mutually exclusive to be liberal and not,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I think you're allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just,
I think it's okay.
I'm trying to, I can't save the world, but this separation that's going on in the political thing in the
Yeah.
world right now, like, we gotta come together. We're more alike than we are different.
That
My
doesn't make money, though.
My cousin Kate said that.
That doesn't make money. That kind of thinking. All right, that's a good one. I like that. What else you got for us?
Okay, so the next song, let's see what I gonna do next. Next, go to the medium pick.
Ooh.
This is the 10-cent bottle law. So just listen to the lyrics. It's a little Bob Dylan-y, kind of thing. So. Hey, listen up, people. I'll tell you a truth about a practice performed in the land of my youth. There's a policy functioning 40 years strong. All the states in the union, they ought to join on. Michigan voted with foresight. They saw the benefits of the 10-cent bottle law. Well, our countryside's fine, less aluminum glitter. Our folks have incentive to withhold their litter. I'm going home to return to the land where a kid gets corrected for crushing your can. Turn your trash to fast cash. You see, it's very feasible. Cha-ching, you will hear if the barcode is readable. If you ever wanted a savings account, put your cans in the corner. Your funds, they will mount. In Michigan, residents never go broke. If money gets tight, you go find an old Coke. To the states left without it, your systems are glitched. In Michigan, you can find cash in the ditch, in the spring in particular. After the thaw lies a promise of wealth from that old bottle law. I'm going home to return to the land where a kid gets corrected for smashing a can. Turn your trash to fast cash, you see, it's very feasible. Cha-ching, you will hear if the barcode is readable. Save the refuse from landfills, put dough in your pockets. It just makes sense. Before you try it, don't knock it. It's not an anomaly. A fifth of our nation's on board with this eco win-win situation. I'm going home to pure Michigan, where a kid gets corrected for crushing a can. Turn your trash to fast cash. You see, it's very feasible. Cha-ching, you will hear if the barcode is readable. Well, the bottle law works as a stimulus plan, and not just from the currency swap for the can. Recycling consumers go back to the store, returning their empties and shopping for more. Jerry Seinfeld established a right state of mind. Which Congressman folks, you don't have to be blind to the fact that your profits are there in your hands. Gather money, what's better? Clean up the land. I'm going home to return to the land where a kid gets corrected for crushing a can. Turn your trash to fast cash. You see, it's very feasible. Cha-ching, you will hear if the barcode is readable. Turn your trash to fast cash. You see, it's very feasible. Cha-ching, you will hear if the barcode is readable.
I love that. Excellent. Now that guitar, other than sounding very nice Martin guitar, looks like it's got a little mileage on it. Any good stories that go with any of that, or is that just?
Yes. Professional said, don't take this the wrong way, but I think you might need some lessons. And so I moved my hand back a little bit. And
I noticed when we were doing a little sound check before the show, I was like, she doesn't pick where the hole in the guitar is.
It hurts to shave your guitar and new hole. So
I think you've got some mileage.
There's
That's
a
paid
few
for.
miles.
I think that was paid for itself.
Yes, my mom gave this to me when I graduated from high school.
Beautiful. Nice mom.
Yes.
Good job, Mom.
Yes, I love you, Mom. So, she gave me one of the lines in that song too. We were up at our family cabin in the woods and just kicking back, and my family had a can-do fund where it's a good way to have side money, or kids go around. I was at a music festival in Michigan. It was the Earthworks Harvest Festival. And I heard this mom get after this kid for smashing a pop can. And it stuck with me. And the whole premises was spotless because people were conscious and they were picking up their trash and stuff. And I was like, man, if Key West had a bottle law, the homeless people could have, food for hot dogs. At college too, at Lansing, where I went to school, East Lansing. After a football game, that's how people got food money sometimes. So anyway, it feeds itself. It's a change in habit, and it just makes sense. That's 10-cent bottle.
Good for good. Love it.
Okay,
right.
So
what you got next?
All right, so this heavy song. Let's get it done.
All
Let's
right.
stop seismic blasting. You gotta take a sip of water for this. So.
From your reusable
That's right.
bottle there. None of this plastic stuff, Tom.
Bumper stickers. You can decorate your water bottles. Okay. Here goes nothing. If you knew you'd be aghast at the effects of the oilman's seismic blast, air guns in 10-second pulses, seafloor surveys, live convulses, splitting ears of the ocean's creatures. Humans don't sit by in bleachers, shady business, undisclosed, underwater, unexposed, the volume's up way past 11. You think we'll see these folks in heaven? Wailing dolphins, eardrums bleed, deafened now. They cannot feed. Do tell, how would you feel, my dear, if dynamite blew out your ear? Even little tiny krill, not immune to the fallout kill. Stop seismic blasting. Stop seismic blasting. What good is money when the food web tanks? Dolphins' earbloods back in banks. Yes, my friend, these seismic blasting damages Our everlasting 2,500 miles these sound waves travel. Watch out, the food web will unravel, deafening all those in earshot. We must stop these wicked despots. Trump's rollbacks to the EPA. Like the lampstand, this I pray. In federal waters, offshore drilling, round the clock just keeps on killing. For those who have an ear to hear, Almighty, make this loud and clear. Now you hold this information, share it with all earthly nations. Stop seismic blasting. Stop seismic blasting. Oh, the oil man echolocate. No plans in place to incriminate. Allow me to elaborate. Shockwaves don't discriminate. No, the humpbacks don't evacuate. No fish left for your dinner plate. How much will they obliterate? This message I can't overstate. Speak out or they'll accelerate. Resound this, don't procrastinate. I said stop seismic blasting. Stop seismic blasting. Yeah, we gotta stop seismic blasting. Stop seismic blasting.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I guess you could say that when I wrote this, COVID did have me in a kind of a heavy mood. So,
You know.
That was where my head was too.
Well, that's good though. I mean, music's always been a very powerful medium for
Yep.
change, you know, and sometimes good, sometimes not so good, but you know, it's there and it's a good way to get a message out.
Yep. And you know, interestingly too, when I was writing that, I was thinking about John Prine, and I was kind of feeling like his kind of rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 days later, I realized he just died. I didn't know. So, anyway.
It does kind of have that chugga, you know.
The Paradise
Ba-dum,
music. What's
ba-dum,
that?
ba-dum, 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 yeah, to it. So yeah.
I was a child.
Yeah.
Family would travel. Yeah. And I wanted to say a minute ago that with the 10-cent bottle law, that Jerry Seinfeld, did you see the Seinfeld episode a long time ago where they took all the bottles from New York and took them to Michigan in a semi-truck so they could cash them in and make twice the money?
I did not, but
that's
I heard the
reference.
reference in the song. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, that's backtracking. So that's the heavy song, important but heavy. So this is a completely ridiculous song.
That's what we like. We got time for one more. Lay it on this.
One more? Okay.
Do you have two more?
If it's okay. I was
Yeah,
saving
what
the
the
best
heck?
for last, but I can't
No,
neglect...
no, let's do two more.
So
Let's
this
do
is
two
the
more.
result of living in Key West for too long. I've apologized too much, but I was like, oh my God, people are going to think I am like making fun of homeless people. I'm not doing that. This is a song called Dude in the Mangroves. There's a dude in the mangroves, and he's just kind of larger than life, so he's kind of more of a character, so... There's a dude in the mangrove. There's a dude in the mangrove. Where he sleeps is a secret. He makes his nest with an egret. He's eating sea grapes and mangoes. He's a dude in the mangrove. Got sick of society. He lives here voluntarily. He got a PhD from Harvard. Then he jumped a ship off the larboard. He swam across from the Bahamas, and now he lives off iguanas. He doesn't mind the mosquitoes. He's a dude in a mangrove. He's got a tattoo of Django. Ba 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 da. Knows how to tango. Ba da 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 da. He never pays taxes. He just sits and relaxes. But in a tropical cyclone, he swims out to sea past a storm cone. You might hear him rustling. The dude is just muscling. A snake tried to make dude a sandwich, and now that typhoon's tied into a clovish. The snake was a dangler, and now you need some detangler. Oh, you know how the game goes. He's a dude in a mangrove. Dude in the mangrove. Even dancing in the rainbow. He doesn't need a bankroll. Can't you see how his skin glows? See how his spirit hopes, passing time singing YOLO. Though he could use a couple Mentos, he's a dude in a mangrove. Made a choice, it's what he did. He prefers a life that's off the grid. He only comes to town for marzipan. Some folks mistake him. Some people call him riff-raff. That just makes the dude laugh. He's making friends with smaller oldies. Well, he sings golden oldies so cool now. People are finally getting together. I think it's wonderful and how people are finally getting together. He's a dude in a mangroves. You see him right where the wind blows. Please respect the dude in a mangrove. No telling where he's going.
Yeah, I like that. That's really interesting chord selections there. Some of those notes between the coming out of the break, and especially your vocal lines, to really get that. I don't know if that's salsa, but that
I don't know what it
Caribbean
is. It just
vibe.
came out.
So yeah, that was really cool stuff. I like
Thank
that.
you. Yeah. So that was just a jam with my cousins, sort of. We just kind of. I mean, I was dinking around with it. I wrote it on the keyboard initially.
Uh-huh.
And, but anyway.
Very cool. Well, we got time to squeeze one
Okay,
more in. Come
one
on,
more
let's get
in.
it good.
Okay. Okay. Exude through my entity. Lord, I pray that you radiate through me. Exude through my entity. Lord, I pray that you resonate freely. Use my hands to project your intention. I'm inviting your divine intervention. You are getting my attention. You are getting my attention. The fabric of the cosmos is all-knowing. Why you think that we all keep growing? The fabric of the cosmos is all knowing. Why you think that we all keep growing? Whatever name that you call him, God is love, God is love, God is love, God is love, God is love. I was bold, but you saved me from danger. I don't want always to be a lone ranger. Lord, I'm thankful for the help that you gave me. Won't you send me now a husband and some babies? Our creation has a scientific explanation. Scientific explanation. Oh God, so great, illuminate. God, so great, illuminate. Whatever name that you call him, God is love, God is love, God is love. In awe of Yahweh, in awe of Prana, in awe, walk on Tonga, great spirit of Jah, through the Buddha, through Yeshua, Hebrew for Jesus. Exude through my entity, Lord, I pray that you radiate through me. Exude through my entity, Lord, I pray that you resonate freely.
She is Miss Emily Springsteen. She is wonderful. Tell us, give us your .coms and all that stuff. How can people find you, find your music?
EmilySpringsteen.com is my website. On Facebook too, Emily Springsteen Music. And I'm on Spotify, Amazon, all those streaming services. You can find the 10-cent bottle on there. And that's it for now. Working on an album.
Working on an album. When can we expect that?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
Sooner
Good
than
answer.
later.
And the video's coming soon.
Yes,
too. Can't
this
wait to
summer,
see that.
end of
and
the
you
summer.
know what we'll do? We'll take that video and tack it on to
Yeah.
one of our episodes. Because
Cool.
we can do that, right, Tom? Can we do that? Excellent. Tom says yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so
having me.
much for your time. Thank you for sharing your talent and your music with us. And can't wait to have you back with more stuff.
All right. Thanks for listening.
That's going to do it for Radio Cosmos Live. Whichever camera's on. Bye-bye.